Well, good morning, and let's kick off your Wednesday on a Wellness Wednesday. We're going to talk about stress today. Boy, there's a lot of it in this world, isn't it? And if we think here locally, there's been a lot of people on both sides of the fences of the things that have happened in the media here locally. And we'll talk more in depth about that later today as I do my Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. It was 1 week ago today that I talked a little bit more in depth about my co anchor that resigned from KSDK. And a lot of people were wanting me to talk more about it. Well, I'm going to open up, it would be like in radio where we open up the phone lines, right? I'm going to open up the chat box for people to ask whatever they want. If you can't be here later this afternoon, then feel free to drop a comment in today or a question. I highly recommend that you become interactive. Again, that's the biggest thing that I absolutely love. Ever since we started the show a couple of years ago, it is that I want you to be heard, your voice to be heard. That's what's very important. So if you are new to the show, let me introduce myself. It's the Real Monica Adams Show. People ask that are brand new, why do we call it that? Because I do believe we need to be more authentic and transparent and real, and we will do that. I also want to talk about what you want to talk about. Again, giving you literally carte blanche is something that we never did in radio and TV. It's the things that we thought you wanted to talk about, and then we talked about them. But I'm literally asking you, what do you want to see on a show that you would wake up to every morning? So people say, I need the weather. I need some news you can use. I'd love to know what's going on sports-wise. Sometimes sprinkle in entertainment. Tell me what's going on in my town so I can go out and do that with my family or a date night or, again, a day out. I'll do that if it's things that are affecting you financially, health-wise, your, sports, family, you name it, we're going to give it to you. And more importantly, we're going to shine the spotlight on really incredible human beings, give you inspirational stories of hope like we have over the last couple days. Did you see Kim Underwood from Joy FM in with me yesterday? Boy, that was a good one. And that will be, by the way, our podcast that drops on the audio side tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So if you don't know that and you are new to the show, and there's a ton of new people I see that are coming to the show, we do the talk show Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. And then we do the show on Thursday at 8 a.m., which is the recorded audio podcast. Otherwise, it's all the video component. So as you're all signing on here, good morning. Hope you're having a great start to the day. You want to know what it looks like weather-wise? Here you go. As we head into the weekend, make sure you've got your umbrella handy because we do have rain that's going to start actually tomorrow and not let up until midweek next week. But today, beautiful fall day. That's why I wore what I did today. 65, breezy tonight though, 42. In fact, I stepped out this morning and there's frost on the top of our bar area that we have outside. So it is cold this morning. We're in the 40s. AM frost again tomorrow, 64 for your high, but sunshine, and then down to 42 again. We get out of the 40s for the low by the time we get into Friday, but we do have the afternoon showers expected. Saturday and Sunday, we're in the low to mid 60s. Again, a slight chance of showers still in the forecast. Low 50s though, and then some night storms on Monday. Those storms stick around into Tuesday and Wednesday, but look, we get back up into the upper 60s, and then we drop on Thursday of next week into the upper 50s. And then it is Halloween. And I told you yesterday that I didn't have the Halloween forecast for you, but we do now. And look, it's still far out, but at least for right now, no rain in the forecast. So for all of you that are thinking about what your kiddos are going to be for Halloween, hopefully you don't have to have them carrying around an umbrella. How many times have you thought, oh my gosh, I got the kids' costume all ready to go, and now we got to cover it up with tons of coats, and then we've got to put something over for a raincoat. I mean, remember, we've had snow on Halloween before. Not the case. It actually looks really pretty. So tell me this. Actually, I asked the other day, what are your kids going to be for Halloween? I don't have kiddos, so I'd love to know what's hot right now with regards to costumes. And if you don't have kids, ask your nieces and nephews, weigh in on that for me here over the next week. I heard something the other day. Have you guys heard of, was it Italian brain rot? They said if you have 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kids that you would know what that is. It's about these memes and stuff that are showing up. And they say that some of them will show up in Halloween costumes. Do you know what it's about? I asked a table that we were at the other day and somebody said, oh, I know that. Well, it was when I was auctioneering Saturday night and we were at Glen Echo Country Club. And there was a bunch of people at the table and they said, I don't know what that is. And I said, okay, do you know what 6'7" is? Only one person at the table did. And he's like, see, I feel hip. Do you all know? If you have kids in that age range, you know 6'7". They say that in school. There's literally nothing behind it. But if you say 6'7" to them, they all of a sudden just start busting up laughing. Has anybody dealt with that? Let me know. Again, feel free to drop a comment in. Okay, it's 7:05. We're literally just getting started. Got about 37 of you on right now. Let's get those numbers up because this is where people are coming to find out the news that they want, the weather, again, as I said, sports, and then real talk. And today we're going to talk about stress. And I want you to be real. I'd also love to know what you do to de-stress because you need to tell the people around you that have it just magnified in their life. It's dangerous. It's toxic. It can cause major health problems. So we're going to do a little thing that can take about 5 to 7 minutes. And if you are able to stay home and be interactive, I'll ask you if you were able to do it with me. And when you did it change how you were feeling? So if you're waking up stressed right now, stay tuned. I've got a little thing for you to help you get out of that. All right. I see the comments coming in. I'll get to those in just a second. Let's get into a little bit more weather news. So this is for people all over. Remember this show. Yes, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, but I want to make sure that you know what's happening all around the world. So Caribbean right now bracing for a future hurricane as tropical storm Melissa is forming. So for those of you that may be traveling, you need to know this. The Caribbean is on high alert for what is expected to evolve into a slow moving hurricane. Now it's going to unleash feet of rain, destructive winds on a region that has largely avoided any tropical activity so far this Atlantic hurricane season. AccuWeather meteorologists have been tracking this area of low pressure since early October. And on Monday night, they dubbed it a tropical rainstorm to raise public awareness of the growing threat to lives and property. And then I looked into this late morning yesterday. The National Hurricane Center upgraded the system to Tropical Storm Melissa. So a hurricane watch is in effect for part of Haiti, while a tropical storm watch is in effect for Jamaica. Melissa was moving west-northwest at 7 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds up to 50 miles per hour as of Wednesday morning. I will tell you that the chances of a direct U.S. hit are pretty low right now, but it is still an option should that tropical storm make it into the Western Caribbean. So let's talk about the U.S. concern for the impacts. It will be in the Florida Peninsula, especially the lower portion of the peninsula, and the Keys. Strong westerly winds driven by the jet stream should prevent the storm from tracking into Texas, Louisiana, and the panhandles of Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida next week. All right. Do you remember, by the way, when I was at KSDK and Tessa, and that is the exact thing that happened. Tessa, that the dogs would bark. You remember when we were home during the pandemic and we had to do the shows from home? The dogs would bark. You'd have kids run in front of the camera. You'd have kids like talking to their parents and they're like, I'm on the air right now, right? It's real talk. It's real things that happen. And the dogs see deer or they're like, wow, Mom, why aren't you talking to me? Tessa, stop. And for those of you that don't know Tessa, that's one of my 3 dogs, but she's definitely the most vocal. Okay, children were mistakenly served pretzels. Oh, here we go. It must be a deer. Contaminated with oven cleaner at a middle school. Now, this did not happen. Adelaide now. It did not happen in our immediate area, but how does this even happen? This was in Oregon. Tessa and Adelaide, stop it. Pretzels contaminated with oven cleaner. Hey, stop it. They were mistakenly served to students during a 6th grade lunch period in Oregon. All right, tell you what, folks, here's what I'm going to do. Because obviously there is a deer out there. I hate to scare the deer, but I'm going to take a quick break because they're way too loud. Yes, they're very vocal today. I'm going to put the dogs out, and I know it's cold, but they're going to stay out there because they are being too vocal. So, quick break, continuing with news you can use and de-stressing you from the barking. That's coming up.
Thankful to Monica for having me on the show here today. I just love having the opportunity to try and help other people. There are a lot of people in my life that were there for me in my time of need, and that was important for me today to talk to Monica about that. You know, you can get low and then work yourself back up to where you want to be. And people around you can help you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. That's what Monica tries to do here with this show. In fact, I know that's what she wants to do, is she wants people that are like-minded to help each other, to point each other in the right direction, to lift each other up, not put each other down. It was amazing for me to sit in here and talk with Monica, and hopefully it helps somebody along the way. I know that every show that she puts on is fantastic. It's worth your while to be tuning in every single day. Don't worry about some of the negativity around the world, whether it's on TV and this, that, the other. Tune in here to Monica and let her tell her story as well as her guests tell their story. There's always something that you can get from somebody else. And if you pick up just one little thing that helps you, that makes this a success. And that is why I'm here with Monica today.
Okay, it's quiet. If you're just tuning in and you're like, what? I just put the dogs outside and now they're out there for the next 45 minutes. I did see it was a deer, and actually it was a deer with quite some horns on top of it. So quite the rack. So he wasn't very happy when the dogs came running out. But now it's going to be quiet and now I can talk with you. By the way, good morning to you all. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome into the show, and share and like and follow. Somebody asked, well, actually multiple people were asking, where do I find your show? And I kept just cutting and pasting, making sure that you have liked and followed our page, because then you get the little notification, right, that we have gone on live. If you're on our YouTube, and I highly recommend that you do so. So many of you have heard that calling and you've done it. So we are now over our 1,000 subscriber mark, which is what we were looking for. That is one thing that we were needing. And then it is to grow it from there, because that's where a lot of people like to watch. Again, they don't want to be on social media, so they watch on YouTube. So yeah, like, follow, subscribe, and then you'll get the notification. By the way, make sure you keep an eye here to below. This could be your business as part of this show of positivity, and thousands upon thousands of eyes on your business, or maybe us taking the show on the road and bringing it to your business. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without them, and of course without you. Okay, so we were giving you the weather and then getting into news you can use before the dogs very rudely interrupted us, right? We were talking about the hurricane, and no, I did see one of the comments. I am absolutely positively not trying to take Beckett's job. He will be back with us, by the way, on Friday, and I did see that his dad just tuned in. So good morning. Let me see. Yeah, oh my goodness, this is the real Monica Adams. Everyone, sometimes the doggos bark. The real Monica Adams and Tessa and Adelaide, because she was very loud as well. I'm not trying to take Beckett's job. So Julie Fabian, I know, right? 6'7". It literally means nothing. I mean, that's the thing. If you have young kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews, they went back to school, and I heard this on the radio, so I knew it was going to happen for any teacher that started to go through. And then when they would say the numbers 6'7", all the kids start busting up laughing. And if the teacher asks, what are you laughing at? They can't even explain, because it has literally no meaning. It's nuts. Noah, oh no, I can't. It can't rain on Sunday. I know. Faith in the Fields. All right, Julie, we'll talk about that right after the news. The Faith in the Fields coming up on Sunday. Okay, so we were talking about pretzels. So you're giving the kids pretzels, and these pretzels were contaminated with oven cleaner at a middle school. Can you imagine? I mean, so it's just every day something to do with a recall normally. And it's, how are these things getting into our kids or our own food? This was sixth graders in Oregon. A total of 37 pretzels were served at this middle school before the contamination was discovered. The staff found the affected students and followed safety procedures. The Oregon Poison Control Center was contacted. They advised that the oven cleaner involved can cause a burning feeling or vomiting if ingested in significant amounts. Those students, by the way, who ate the pretzels, they were told to rinse their mouths, obviously very quickly, with water, eat bland food like a granola bar or bread, and monitor their symptoms for 24 hours. School administrators said the safety and the health, of course, of the students remains their top priority. Not immediately clear how in the world the pretzels were contaminated with oven cleaner in the first place. So again, was there a janitor? Was there someone that was cleaning and then sprayed it all over it? Or how did it even get in there? That's mind-boggling. So some people that I was talking to about this said, "Oh, that's a major lawsuit." I don't know if it'll go to that point. I mean, I understand mistakes happen, but what will happen is, will something very severe come out of it from a kid? Then, yes, then it goes and it escalates from there. But yeah, I mean, if you're a parent, you're frustrated. You're giving the kids snacks and it's got oven cleaner in it. All right. Can these guys be involved in anything else? The Kelsey brothers, right? Jason and Travis Kelsey. Now Travis, Tay Tay's fiance, right? Taylor Swift's fiance, now owns part of Six Flags, including Kansas City's Worlds of Fun. Okay. Do they need any more money? This is crazy. So he owns it, right? The Kansas City Chiefs tight end. He just loves to have fun. He's one of several people involved. He's not the only one, right? He's several people involved in an investment group known as Jana Partners. The group now owns a minority stake in Six Flags Entertainment. So they're not listing St. Louis, but for those of you in Kansas City, he said, "Hey, I'm a lifelong Six Flags fan. I grew up going to these parks with my family and my friends. The chance to help make Six Flags special for the next generation is one that I couldn't pass up." The partners said that they plan to work with the Six Flags board and management team on a number of things. So they want to improve the experience for you, revitalize the experience at all their parks, improve their operations and modernize parks, and evaluating potential acquisition opportunities. If you don't know, Six Flags merged with Cedar Fair in July of last year, so they now own Worlds of Fun and Oceans of Fun in Kansas City. The company owns dozens of amusement and water parks across North America. The Kelsey brothers talked about their love of amusement parks in a recent TikTok video and said, "As a kid, I didn't go on any of them. It wasn't until I got to college, and then after college when I went back to Cedar Point, that I could finally go on the Millennium Force and the dragster and all the rides." He said he was scared up to that point. The brothers joked about throwing on GoPro cameras and heading to Cedar Point one more time. Are you a fan, by the way, of the Kelsey brothers? And how many of you, because again, those of you that are watching this morning are fans maybe of podcasts and flipping around to several, do you watch theirs? It's ridiculously popular. In fact, I don't know if they have taken over from Joe Rogan being one of the most lucrative from a financial standpoint. Those guys are making bang. I mean, ridiculous, as if he's not making enough already from being a professional football player. Now he's involved in Six Flags. All right, all of you that are signing on, we're running through news you can use. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Hey, speaking of football, the St. Louis County Rams settlement funds start flowing for subdivision road repairs. We've been wondering what's happening with that money. Well, a portion of it, at least, is going toward repaving roads in dozens of subdivisions, maybe even yours. It comes as more discussion of using the county's share of the Rams funding is likely to come up, as our county executive Sam Page requests using a sizable amount to address a budget shortfall. In fact, the county council approved a nearly $6.2 million contract last night for repaving and road infrastructure improvements in 16 subdivisions throughout St. Louis County using the Rams settlement dollars. And that work represents the second phase of a $40 million allocation approved in April of last year for subdivision street repaving and other infrastructure improvements. In the small South County subdivision of Laclede Meadows, residents have been dealing with deteriorating conditions on Waterford Drives and Rock Spring. They're like, hey, it's not good. I've been walking around. It's time for it to be patched up. Well, looks like some of this money will be allocated for that. And that's just one of many subdivisions. The county, by the way, is currently working through the budget process for next year. They face a nearly $60 million shortfall. And of the $120 million in RAM settlement dollars available at the start of the year, County Executive Page has requested using $20 million for the animal shelter, and most recently $59 million to fill budget gaps. The council has not acted, though, on those requests just yet. But boy, has this been a story for a very long time. I mean, think about how long it's been since we lost the Rams in St. Louis, and then everybody with the PSAs and wanting to know what is going to happen with that money. Just now, finally, even deciding on where it's going to be allocated. I mean, it's ridiculous that we haven't seen that being used as of yet. Okay, are you flying anywhere lately? You want to fly Alaska Airlines? Well, they are going to start nonstop service from right here in St. Louis to Portland. They announced this yesterday morning. Alaska will soon offer the nonstop service starting in May of next year. Alaska will operate a daily flight into and out of St. Louis to the Pacific Northwest 7 days a week. The service will run from May 13th of next year to October 2nd. It's a direct service to Portland, the airline's second destination from St. Louis to the Pacific Northwest. Alaska later delayed their announcing on Tuesday in a statement saying the airline will offer a full picture of what its guests can look forward to sometime later this week. So again, Alaska Airlines doing more for St. Louis. If you're flying to Portland, you might want to consider that airline. All right. Good morning again for all of you that are just signing in. I see comments. I see questions. Again, I'm very interactive with you, just kind of like when we were in my radio days. So if you want to talk about anything, or if you've seen or heard anything, and you want me to pass that along to our viewers in your community, be sure to let me know. We're going to stay with the mindset of flying. TSA is warning. Now, we've been talking about the government shutdown and how it will affect you. The TSA now is warning of a severe impact on airport screeners as the shutdown continues. The TSA says the longer the government shutdown goes on, the greater the staff shortages that the agency will experience. The workers and the air traffic controllers are considered essential employees, so they must keep working even though they are not getting paid. So you tell me, would you do that? Would you keep working day after day, not knowing when this will reopen and have no money coming in? Yeah. The employees will get back pay, though, after the shutdown ends. But when will that be? The TSA says since agents aren't getting paid but still have bills coming in, as time goes on, it's going to get harder and harder, obviously, for them to show up to work. So I want to know if you were working for them right now, or maybe you are. I mean, hey, I'd love to hear from somebody that is. I have to say kudos to you for getting up day in and day out, not knowing when your next paycheck's coming, right? The TSA acknowledged a staffing shortage caused long lines for security last weekend in Atlanta as they were screening. The partial shutdown started October 1st when Congress could not agree on a funding bill. So October 1st, folks, we are already 3 weeks in. Now, my husband, I'll have to ask him because he left early this morning to go do one of those prisoner pickups that he does and didn't get a chance to talk with him to see how the lines were. But he did say that when they're doing these, he's having to get there earlier and earlier because they are seeing these long lines. All right. So just know that if you are flying anytime soon, you better give yourself some longer time, more time. The other day we talked about Aldi's. Well, now Walmart's jumping on board their Thanksgiving meal to serve 10 people. It will cost less than $40. The Thanksgiving basket, it's going to include these items: Butterball turkey, about a 13 and a half pounder, Kinder's fried onions, right? A Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, stovetop turkey stuffing. All right. First of all, I'd love to know my audience. Do you like stuffing? Just say yes or no on the stuffing. Me? No, thank you. Great value dinner rolls, fresh russet potatoes, fresh cranberries, some carrots and corn and green beans, all this great value, right? Artisan macaroni and cheese. Really? Macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving? Okay. Maybe for the kiddos. Brown gravy mix, pie crust, evaporated milk, and then of course you got to have the pumpkin. So great value, 100% pure pumpkin. So according to Walmart, the holiday feast includes that Butterball turkey for 97 cents per pound. That's their lowest price, by the way, since 2019, when they offered the traditional Thanksgiving favorites from national and private brands. So again, their annual Thanksgiving meal baskets back with what the company is calling their best offer yet. And you got to love that. So again, all these young families that are trying to rub $2, rub 2 coins together to be able to make ends meet, try to see, can I pay our bills for our house, for our car? How do we even eat? And they're trying to celebrate Thanksgiving and the holidays coming up. So again, Walmart, good job. Aldi's, good job, because again, they mentioned first. So now, as I said, Walmart is jumping on board there. So 2 places for you to go and not spend a whole heck of a lot of money. This one, I want to be a talker, and I'll look at comments in a second. Again, weigh in for me. You like stuffing or you don't like stuffing? I just like to know my audience. Me, I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the smell of it. Nothing. School board, again, not in St. Louis, but we like to cover stories from all across our area, U.S., different countries, etc. There's a school board in Tennessee, Sumner County to be exact, and they have a debate that is breaking out right now among school board members while discussing next year's academic calendar. I can't wait for you to weigh in on this one. The debate, folks, is over this: whether the school district in Tennessee would name their time off in December Christmas break or winter break. And I want to go on with this particular story from many levels. And it's going to relate to our faith in the fields in just a second, by the way. Last year, board members voted to change the break's name from winter to Christmas break. Okay, since at least 1994, it had been called winter break. Board members said that they wanted to discuss changing the name back to winter break after hearing feedback from constituents in the district. Okay, this is a quote from them. Parents can feel a certain way, but we are making decisions that impact our kids. I'd argue that most who want to argue with me think that I want to take away something from one group or another. I think they also wouldn't want to exclude kids. And so they said they looked at 16 counties and one calls it what we call it. So are those other counties wrong? No, he says at the end of the day, we'll be fine and we'll move forward in the community. Another board member agreed and said they should change the name back so no child feels excluded, saying, let's make sure we're having these conversations. It is not our job to dictate to our whole community what a 2-week period should be called from a faith-based standpoint. Other board members disagreed, saying in life, people are going to be offended and that changing the name back to winter break is unnecessary. So, as I said, it didn't happen in our immediate St. Louis, Missouri, Southern Illinois, again, area, but it could, right? I'm going to ask you, are you offended if someone says Christmas break and that's not necessarily the way you think? Have we gotten that ridiculous in this world? And I'm going to be weighing in because here's why. I had somebody the other day say, if we say yoga while we're holding faith in the fields, that someone might get offended because it could have a Hindu connection. I'm sorry. When you talk about faith and you talk about, well, let's go yoga first. When you talk about yoga, can you just give me some comments, right? You can write a word or write a sentence. What do you think of when someone says yoga? Okay. And I know there's about 50 of you on right now. We've got, let's see, 25, 26, 30 of you live on Facebook right now. Facebook has a tendency to be the most interactive. YouTube, sometimes I'll hop over to Instagram. When someone says yoga, what is your thought? And I don't want to lead you, so I'm not going to say my answer just yet, but please drop in what you think and I'll go to that. I will want to talk about this for you. If you have not heard, Faith in the Fields, if you haven't heard about it, I've been putting it all over my social media pages. It is coming up this Sunday. I know some of you have purchased your tickets already. So the ticket price, by the way, is for this wonderful little lunch buffet we're going to have, mimosas or mocktails, or, you just want some tea or water, whatever. But it's for the food and it's for everything you're going to get. I'm going to dig into the mindset and the spiritual and the soulful side. Brittany Phelps is going to handle the physical side, which will be, again, I wanted to call it yoga, and this is why this is coming up. But someone's like, well, you probably have to take that out if you're talking about faith. My first comment on that was, well, what does faith mean to you? I didn't say anything religious based. I said faith. So I tell you what I'm going to do right now. Before we get into sports and the National Day of Calendar, I'm going to ask you two things. One, what does yoga mean to you? What's the description? And do you connect it to some kind of religion? Okay, that's one. The second part of this, from a faith standpoint, is when I say faith, what does faith mean to you? Does it have a religious connotation? Okay, let me see. Let me go to what you're saying. Let me go to the end first. I wish I could make it to your retreat. Sounds like a lot of fun. Pete, it's going to be. Spread the word if you can't go. Let's see. Tam O'Rourke. By the way, Tam, are you new? I love all these new names. Just had this conversation with the yoga teacher. All right. I can't wait to see what she says. I think stretching. This is her comment. I think stretching and mind connection. Same here. Her husband wanted her to stop because of the religious belief. Okay, there is someone who came to a retreat that I held, I think a couple of years ago, and her pastor didn't want her to come to the retreat because someone there was doing energy work or Reiki, right? Have we gotten that to that point of life that I don't know. I don't, it's frustrating to me because I think about how I was raised and it was just open to everyone. And that's really where I am. That's what I want the show to be as well. And when I'm holding a retreat, I want it to be to everyone, right? If we have to go into the categorize it as non-denominational, right? It doesn't matter what faith you are. It doesn't matter what creed. It doesn't matter what religion. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I just want to bring kindness to the world. I mean, so here I am trying to put something out there, and I got to walk on eggshells of the way I describe something. It was so strange to me to think that. But Tam, again, enlightening. So Tam O'Rourke, are you new to the show, by the way? Thank you for tuning in. The light in me honors the light in you. Okay, that's Julie Fabian's comment. Rose, ridiculous. I think Christmas is great. I'm sick of people being offended. When I worked in a Jewish area, we weren't supposed to say Merry Christmas. We could offend someone. Never knew about the word yoga. Exactly. Julie says yoga, stretching and mindfulness. That's what she feels. Joe, I like oatmeal in my yoga. Always the comedian. People that say that about yoga do not understand it. Okay, let's go back here. Christmas break is more than appropriate to call it. But how about I ask you all this, though? Are you all religious that are saying that Christmas break is okay? Because what they're trying to say is someone that's not, oh my gosh, the kid might come back and say, I don't agree with that. Or again, our Jewish friends, would they be offended by it? So for me, I always make sure that I look at the calendar, and if it's Rosh Hashanah or whatever it may be, it's Kwanzaa, that we say hello and happy Kwanzaa, or Rosh Hashanah or Merry Christmas, whatever, happy Easter. But shouldn't we all celebrate each other together? Okay, Pete says yoga is stretching. Not at all offended by Christmas break, but I'm asking those of you that say that you're not, are you religious and faith-based though? Because someone that's not, that's who I really would love to hear from. Good morning. I'm not a stuffing fan. Right. Karen is a stuffing fan. Pete, trying to do keto as much as possible. I love stuffing with drippings and mushrooms. I don't like the seasonings, I think it is. Julie says yes, stuffing. Okay, Julie says no stuffing. Gabriel, stuffing's yum. Oh, it looks like my crowd here, my audience likes stuffing. You're all on the stuffing yes side. Yes on stuffing, Tam says. Roads are horrible. I know. Maybe Travis is feeling inadequate, making less than his future wife. If you haven't heard, Travis Kelce is now a minority owner of Six Flags, including the one in Kansas City. All right, so it was weighing in on that. People that say that about yoga do not understand it. Okay, so what I was told was, and this is why you don't see it in the description, I was told that it's if somebody comes to Faith in the Fields, and I need to have you answer that next part. Okay, we've got 60 of you on right now. Let's get these numbers up to 100 and beyond. Last Wednesday, by the way, we had 350 people that were steady for that entire hour and a half. Me talking about what's happening in the media industry, and I'm going to table that for this afternoon. Again, if you can't be there this afternoon, you want me to talk a little bwant it, feel free to ask a question. But I am going to talk more about it later today, because again, there's been a lot of people who have reached out to me that have said, you might want to stay away from the story. So I'm not going to get specific about what's happening to my former co-anchor, because there's a lot of really interesting information that's coming to light. I'm more so going to talk about the state of it, right? We're going to do like a continuation series from last week. But let's go back to this. So Faith in the Fields, as you see the descriptions, and for those of you that are coming to it, you might say, oh, Monica, you shouldn't have caved. And I feel that same way. But again, just trying to help out and not offend anyone. But at some point in life, we're going to, right? So here's the description of it. A mind, body, soul experience through guided, mindful meditation and flow. That is the words that we're using instead of saying yoga. We'll connect with faith, we'll release stress, and cultivate a clear vision for the season ahead. 11:30 is the start time. It goes until 2 in the afternoon. It's going to be held at Le Chambre des Fleurs, which is by Stone Soup Cottage. Myself, I'm bringing on board for this particular retreat, Brittany Phelps. I hope you all are really going to enjoy her. She's going to take care of the body side, and we're going to do the flow, and we're going to go to a walk and stop by the lake and have some intention. Again, a very nourishing lunch. You're going to heal your minds. You're going to heal your bodies, and you're going to open up your souls. So I was saying yoga. And again, because we don't want to offend anyone, we changed the description of it. I want you to weigh in, whether you're watching now or you're watching later. When someone talks about going to a yoga class, do you feel the Hindu or Buddha connection to it? Buddhist? Never, ever in all my years of being in wellness did I ever think of that. But supposedly, if we were saying namaste or we started doing om, that would offend someone if they were coming to this. But I'm going to ask this next part, right? This has a two-part for you to weigh in on. When you hear faith, and I've asked this on a show before, but I know a lot of new people are watching. When you hear faith, do you automatically in your mind go to religious? Okay, I'm just going to lay it right there. I do not want to lead you in what I feel. I'll give you my personal opinion in just a second. I'm more so interested in you because, again, when I hold retreats, we go on vacations together, and we will. We're going to do within the US, and then we'll do national and international retreats. I just want to make sure that, again, I want to take care of this audience, but I also don't want us all to get to a point where every day we're so worried. This is going to go into my talk this afternoon, by the way, that we're so worried about what you're saying is going to offend someone, or someone's going to take it and stay silent and go to HR, like what happened with Rennie Knott. So you come in and it's almost like you feel like you can't talk to anybody. And then you wonder who you can trust in life. So faith, what does that mean to you? All of you that are weighing in. Again, now or when you watch this on replay, tell me, what does faith mean to you? So when you see that word faith, and we're talking about this event we're going to hold. By the way, there's 40 tickets available for this. I think we have 13 sold so far. Please don't wait to the last second, but it's going to be a really beautiful experience of faith in the fields, wildflowers all around us, etc. Tam, yes, I'm new. I follow Brittany, who turned me on to you. Okay, wish I could make the retreat. Yoga, it's a part of my fitness journey, and I see it for what it is, a gift to heal my body. Tam, I'm so glad that you're a part of the show, and I wish you could be at the retreat as well. It is not the last. We will be holding several. But Tam, I will say that Brittany and Nancy both were saying, hey, maybe we need to change things because we are all walking in our journey of our faith walk, right? Walking with Christ, walking with a higher power, whatever's guiding you. I just don't want this to be something that people feel like, oh, I can't come because I think this way or I follow this religion. I don't want it to be a religious thing. I want it to be faith, what comes from within. Tam, so happy to have you with us and part of the show. All right, Gabriel, I've always been a little miffed by the term Christmas or winter break because historically, the reason we have that break is because of Christmas, which is a celebration of Christ's birth. That's my take. Again, Gabriel, I agree with you, and I've always heard it as Christmas break, but remember, I grew up in a Catholic family, so it made sense. We're trying to address those people who don't think that way. Look, let's talk about people who are atheist or agnostic. They would probably have a problem with it, but are we going to cater to a minority? I guess that's the way I think. Right now I am weighing in. Rose, why can't we all celebrate whatever we call our holidays and live in harmony? I had Jewish folks told me Merry Christmas. What happened for us to get offended? Right? I have Jewish friends, and I say the same thing to him. I say Rosh Hashanah to him. To my fans that celebrate Kwanzaa, we say that. So always looking at the calendar, like what's taking place today. I'm offended that you didn't call it yoga. Thanks, Julie. Great. Can't make anybody happy. Starla, I'd love to try yoga regardless if it was faith-based or not, but I can't get up from the floor due to 3 knee replacements. All right, so remember, when you come to my retreats, I make sure everybody's taken care of. Julie, all right, here we go. Now we're weighing in. Faith equals strength, okay? That's what Julie says. Rose, no, faith is hope to me. Okay, so we've got strength and hope. Tam, faith to me is more about pausing and believing that something or someone will come through for me. I think that is an incredible description, and I just got chills when you said that. Pete, would like to more about your upcoming trips. Okay, I guess you forgot the word no. Would like to know more about your upcoming trips. Sounds interesting. So Pete, we will be doing retreats, but we'll be traveling together. Joe, yoga to me means stretching, health, lifestyle, again, meditation, faith, mostly religious connotation. Okay, so Joe does think it's a religious connotation, but not necessarily a formal religion. Okay, but a religious connotation. Julie, faith equals trust and confidence in something or someone that brings individuals peace or strength. Pete, when we were in India, they said Happy Christmas and Merry New Year's to us. Okay, but again, they're trying to say that we acknowledge. That's the greatest thing that we can do, right? Respect and acknowledgement that not everybody celebrates the same way that we do, but make sure that you get out of your own way and look at the calendar or dig in like we do, right? We didn't do your National Day of Calendar. Let me do that for you. So if it was Rosh Hashanah, if it was Kwanzaa, if it was Christmas, it would be on our calendar. And for those of us that don't celebrate whatever someone else celebrates, You just say it to them, and then it makes them feel good. That's the greatest way we all get along, right? So what is on tap today? It's National Tavern Style Pizza Day. Oh, I'm going to go pick up my mom and take care of her. If you haven't heard, my poor mother fell and broke her collarbone. And she's staying with us. She stayed with my brother and sister-in-law for the last, 4 or 5 days. Now she's going to be with us for the next 5 days. So maybe we got to go pick up some pizza. We'll also say that we will take care of the dogs, even though I just put them outside. National Make a Dog's Day. I will make it up to them. National Color Day. And for those of you that are medical assistants, we are recognizing you today. So there you go. See, that's the kind thing. Welcome them and tell them thank you for all the work they do. And maybe, I don't know about nuts on a pizza, but it is National Nut Day, so you can grab some nuts. Hey, did you watch the Blues game last night? They lost to the Kings. 2-1 was the final. Now it's Mammoth and the Blues tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And I think this is a really cool story. The Women's Professional Baseball League. I didn't even know that there was one, but Boston, Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco have been chosen as the first 4 teams. The WPBL will begin play in 2026 and feature 15 players per team. How awesome is that? I had no idea that that was even happening. Did any of you? Did you know about that? All right, so let's see. This makes me sad. Cooking, 45 years of cooking, was so careful to not give someone food poisoning. Oh, the pretzels, yeah. Pete, yes, hope mom's feeling better, and pizza is always a good idea. I know, right? I don't need an excuse to get pizza. I feel the dogs need a voice. I bet Tessa has a lot to say. All right, fine. I'll take a break. And that's the part that I wanted to do. So this is what I like, by the way. Instead of just giving you the news, so I will say this, for those of you that are new to the show, Mondays and Tuesdays for sure, and sometimes we add bonus days, we're in studio. So when I have a guest, I cram in as much as I can in like a 10 to 12 minute block. We do the weather, we do sports, we get news you can use. And then sometimes I'll just kind of do a little talker of like, hey, this is in the news. Do you want to know about this? I'll pass this along to you. I didn't get a chance to tell you guys about this one. So I'm going to take a break and I'm going to let you know, if you're single, what is the best city for single people? And are you dating? And how hard is the dating world, by the way? We will do a future show on that. All right, I'll let the dogs in. They're very loud, though. We'll be right back.
Wow, I just got off live with the real Monica Adams. What a wonderful experience. I don't watch news because of all the negativity that it brings and the way it drives me emotionally to a place I don't really like to feel. So to be a part of a show that has a sole purpose of bringing positivity to the community, and then with the desire to just build people up, it has been one of the greatest joys, one of the greatest experiences that I've had a chance to be a part of when it comes to being a guest. This studio, it is fantastic. As I watched my show before I came in, I saw the lighting and I was impressed by the way this room is lit, but it is so warm and comforting to be in here. Whether you're a guest or a viewer, this show is a must watch, a must be a part of, and just continue doing great things out there, Monica. You are changing lives every day.
Well, thank you to Scott. That happens to be my neighbor, by the way. And all these years that we've lived next to each other, had no idea how incredible he was. If you haven't seen that show, go to my YouTube page, Scott Holman, by the way. He was my guest, and we got to bring him back on again. All right, we're doing our social media check-in. Time to check in with you. And as I said, our biggest audience, by the way, is on Facebook. So we have people that bounce on and off. We went up to about 35 or so. 19 of you on X, 1 of you on Rumble. People are still finding that platform. 4 of you live on YouTube. One of the things I would love for you to do is, again, make sure that you are on multiple platforms, because if you've got friends or family that don't want to watch on, as I said, Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, we do post some reels and stories and stuff like that on TikTok. Have them go to YouTube and subscribe to that channel, because it is my plan to provide specific content for YouTube subscribers only. Ginny Antonacci, good morning. Are you new to the show as well? I love that name. So Stephanie says, I watch it. I like Jason's wife. Jason's wife, of course, is Taylor Swift. If you are just tuning in, we were talking about people being hyperly, is that a word? No. Overly is the word I want. Hypersensitive, not hyperly, overly hypersensitive to things in life. And we feel like we have to walk on eggshells around them to not offend. So I don't want to offend anyone. All I want is to bring together love. And I went over to Instagram and I saw Katie said, I can't wait. Katie's coming. How many of you haven't signed up yet and are coming to Faith in the Fields? Can't wait to see you again, coming up on Sunday. So yes, there will be scripture. So will we offend someone that is not religious? I mean, that's what I really want to say. We could go to the ends of the earth to try to write a certain way, to say certain things, to deliver for you. But what if someone's coming there that is just looking for an opening of their soul and they're not religious, right? So are we offending them? Do I offend you around Christmas time? If I do, I've never wanted to offend anyone. I am literally looking for this show of everybody being inclusive and everybody being welcome. It's just really, as I mentioned, is to get out of our own way and to not cause any undue stress, which is something I wanted to bring into the show. And it's a short, really 5 to 7 minutes is all this would take. So I don't know how many of you are listening, and that, so a lot of people, they'll grab their phone and they'll watch it home and then they'll continue in their car. Please don't look at it. I'm trying to keep you all safe. They will continue listening on their way into work. They want to know what's going on in the world. They want to know what's going on in their community. They just want to hear some inspiration. We are going to do our devotional. We have several, by the way. And for those of you that are new to the show, we do a devotional at the end. So there we go. Do I offend you because I do a devotional? Do you sign off at that point because you don't want to hear it? I mean, this is the world that we've gotten into, that I have to watch everything. And as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about it in our bonus show that we do, Wet Your Whistle, later this afternoon. I will have Mom with me. So for those of you that wanted to see how she was doing, I'll have her join me and we'll talk about this world that we're in, that everybody gets so offended. But the devotional side, I mean, I started that 2.5 years ago. Does that offend anyone? Bloom and Grow, that's one that I got from Jay Bloom's owner. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Love the Life You Have, 100 Ways to Embrace God's Goodness. We might read from that. This came from Marilyn, a longtime viewer. She calls herself one of the Monica's Maniacs. By the way, as you join this show on a regular basis, you become one of them. Jesus Listens, the Sarah Young devotional. She also gave me this, Jesus Calling, Sarah Young. When I read from this here in about 10 minutes, am I going to offend somebody? So do I stop that? No. I will not. Did I change the wording? Yes. Julie, did I seriously? I know she's kidding, but you don't want to offend anyone. So it becomes stressful. Honestly, it really did for me. I was like, okay, I am heading on Saturday. When I put that all together for the website, we were driving to the event that I was auctioneering. Thankfully, Jim was driving and I had my laptop and I'm feverishly trying to put it together and finish it and get it done and get it out there so that all of you could buy tickets and come to this. And then we talked as a team, those of us that are putting it on, and it was, maybe we've got to change the word yoga. And I did it again because I'm the kind of, right, I want to be a peacemaker. Go back to the people pleaser. I try not to be that, try to break myself of that. A lot of you that are people pleasers, it's hard, right? We're just trying to get everybody to get along. Jessica says, my stress has gotten a lot worse due to the hiring of a new person, and they have made a lot of stress in our office. Okay, well then what I'm getting ready to do for you and for all of you, this is going to help. I was getting into saying, if you're driving, you probably don't want to do this now. I mean, you can do some of the breathing side, but it's more so being focused and being present to be able to do this 5 to 7 minutes intentional breathing exercise. Rose, no one should be ashamed of their faith or their religion. You're being real, and I believe those who get offended are the minority. Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll hope so. All right, 50 of you on right now. And of you 50, I don't know how many of you can do this as we are here live together. If you can't, then what I would say is to come back to this later this afternoon and then get an opportunity to do this. Okay. So all of you, I call you friends. You're on this Wellness Wednesday. This isn't just a conversation. It's an experience. And if you are feeling stressed or you are feeling overwhelmed or you're anxious or you're exhausted, like some of these people are saying, just not yourself lately, This is a 7-minute nervous system reset for you. Okay. So we've got 11 minutes left. We're going to do this. By the end of this show, I am hoping that you feel calmer, that you feel that your mind is a little clearer, more grounded than you have all week. And the best part, you can do this exercise anytime, anywhere that your mind starts racing and it gets heavy. So I like to keep it real here, right? Stress, it's not just in your head. You feel it in your entire body, and it is the number one killer because it leads to, I mean, look, and that's something else. Somebody might say, "Oh, I don't agree with that." Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. There are many studies that show stress leads to cancer. Stress leads to high blood pressure. Stress leads to heart attacks and strokes. It all stems from that. Yes, there's an actual medical condition, but if you look back at the root cause of it, and we like to get rooted and grounded in faith, that's what we're going to do on Sunday. We're going to talk about this though. Your body holds on to that stress. The tight shoulders, why do you go get a massage, right? The clenched jaw, it's tight right in here. Snapping at people that you love and then having to come back and apologize. Feeling like you can't think clearly. That's not just emotions. That's your nervous system stuck in a survival mode, right? The fight or flight. And, I had a moment recently where I was juggling life and projects and people and experiences. And yeah, I hit a wall like many of you do. Felt myself slipping into an anxious state. So what do? Meditate, yoga, or flow. And I realized I needed more than motivation. I needed regulation, needed to reset my nervous system and not just push through. So for those of you that tell your family and friends, I'm just pushing through, eventually you won't be able to, because what you're really doing is pushing it down. You're pushing the stress down when you need to find your voice and open up. I don't want you to find your voice and scream at people, but that's what it escalates to. So again, let's explain this. Fight or flight, right? Stress, overthinking, panic, and irritability. You need a little rest. Somebody said the other day they love naps. Rest and restore. Peace, clarity, healing, digestion, sleep. If you don't have good digestion, you're not sleeping, right? So when life gets loud, folks, when we get stuck in that first part of fight or flight, we're switching you back to peace mode by activating the vagus nerve, which tells your body that it's safe again. And we haven't done a lot on that. I want to do a little bit more in depth, maybe on a Medical Monday about that. Okay. So you can do this sitting as I am, or you can do it standing. Just follow along. You ready? We're going to do this. We've got 9 minutes left in the show and we will be done with this. So sit down, stand up. I don't care. If you're driving, you can hear this in my voice and maybe do it, but I would really like you to be able to focus more and not be thinking about the road. So hopefully you're home. Again, whether you're with us now, and I am going to ask you if you did the reset in just a second. So ready? You're going to take a breath. This is box breathing. In for 4 and hold on to it for 4. Then you're going to let it out for 4 and then hold on to that before you inhale again. And then you repeat this for 4 cycles. Really slow, really controlled. What are you doing? You're telling your body that I am safe. Okay, so let's do this. I want you to breathe in for 4. Okay, I'm going to talk you through this while you're doing it. So in those cues, that's what I would do if we're in Faith in the Fields or we're trying to keep a calm atmosphere. You're going to continue to do it. I'll do it when I get off, so we're not just sitting here in silence. For all of you, continue to do that in 4 cycles. And while you're doing it, by the way, inhale. Let the vibration on the, if you want to, again, I don't want to offend anybody, but I would like for you to hum. If that has a voodoo or a Hindu connection, okay. But for those of you that just really want to take it for what it is, which is calmness, then I want you to hum on the exhale and let the vibration relax your chest and your throat. That, by the way, calms anxiety pretty fast. So your inhale, 4, hold on, 4. When you exhale, if you want to, hum on the exhale, feel the vibration. And for those of you that are really tense right now, you can loosen up the shoulders. Maybe you're feeling tension in your hands or in your feet or in your legs. Shake them out, right? Animals, by the way, and they've done it several times. My dogs, it's all about them today, right? They shake after stress. Why? They're doing it to release survival energy. Humans hold on to it on the inside. Let it go. Just like the song, let it go. Be like the animals today. Shake it out, right? They're like, yeah. Adelaide's looking at me like right now, like, yeah, obviously we know that, Mom. How about this? Do your hand over your heart. And I want you, as you're doing your breathing, breathe slow. Think of someone or something that you're thankful for. Or I'm going to think of my husband or my mom, who I get a chance to spend with. I'm thankful for my dogs, whether they're loud or not. Gratitude and calmness. Gratitude regulates your heart and your mind. Feel the heart beating. Tessa, stop. Feel the heartbeat slowly. Okay. And when you do this without the dogs barking, and maybe you need to take yourself and ground yourself. Maybe you go outside later and you go for a walk and then you sit down and you ground yourself. Feel the connection to earth and you feel the calmness in the heartbeat. Or if you're really stressed, you feel just how fast that heartbeat is. Reach down, let your head hang, and maybe you just let it sway gently, right? Sometimes we like to take that head down below the heart. It signals your body to release tension stored in your spine. I woke up this morning, had a really tight low back. So I'm going to do this practice after I get done with you. All right. So just a few minutes left. And hopefully you've been doing the cycles of the in and out. Big inhale, everybody. Big. Ready? So I want you to do this 5 times for me. Big inhale and a very loud exhale. Release the weight. No shame, no judgment. Just let it go. So when I do my retreats and when I work on, and I call it yoga, but now maybe I'll call it flow. I don't want to offend my clients that I train. I tell them, I want to hear you. I want to hear that breathing. Inhale when you're working out and you're lifting weights, when you're doing meditation, when you are trying to de-stress the body. Let it go. Don't look around you while you're in a class thinking, oh my gosh, someone's going to judge me for the breathing. No, because if they're really into it and they've been doing it, they're breathing in and out and letting that exhale very loud and proud. No one's judging. How about hands together or over your heart, right? Some people say that they don't want to do this. This doesn't connect with them. Do the hand over the heart, whatever feels connection to you. God, I release what I can't control. Fill me with peace, quiet my mind, calm my spirit, guide my next step. And amen to that, right? So do it one more time. Big inhale. For those of you that think this is quirky, this doesn't feel connection to me. Okay, you're not ready for it, but you're going to continue that stress until it breaks. My husband just went to the doctor yesterday, was told, hey, we got to keep that blood pressure down. And so what did he do with me yesterday? I'm so happy and so proud of him. Got on the rower for 10 minutes, got on the bicycle for 10 minutes. We did some wall ball. That's why my back hurts. We did some wall ball work. So that's my external, internal obliques probably feeling that exercise. And he's working on his cardio. So stepping up in life, right? Elevating where we need to be. But I also said, look, for the stressful job that you have and the things that you see and go through on a daily basis, you need to work on meditation. Let me replace that phrase. I don't like using phrases of control words, right? You need to. I would highly recommend that you think about doing meditation or you think about yoga. Adelaide, no, don't do that. Think about de-stressing your life, right? And then say things. If you feel lighter right now, it's because you brought your nervous system back into balance. Your body wants peace. And sometimes it just needs a way back in. It just needs that road. So we just did that for 7 minutes. Hopefully I should say that you did that. It wasn't just a practice that you do once. It's a daily practice. Do it for 7 days, by the way, or maybe 14 days or 21 days. Choose whatever time frame and form a habit. Watch how your mood and your sleep and your digestion and your energy shift. Okay. So before we wrap up, do me a favor. One word, write reset for me. If you actually did it while we were live and if you feel a little bit of a change. And I'm going to say one more time again, subscribe to our page, because if you like today's show, this is what we do for you. And when I say the word subscribe, it simply means that you are following to get that live notification. Subscribe, like, follow, share this, by the way, with your family and friends. Be a part of the show. And if you have topics or guests that you would like to see, shoot me an email. Hey, Adelaide, come here. info@therealmonicaadams.com. I'm trying to talk to all of you while I see that she just pulled something out of my box that I use. Adelaide, come here. Want this? Yeah, come here. Come by mommy. Mommy's going to do a devotional. For all of you, I would love to tell me how your mind and your body shifts when we do some of these things. We haven't done any workouts yet lately. I used to do Monica's motivational moments, and a lot of that worked on the mind and the body. So would you like to see more workouts from Crunch Fitness? I would love to give those to you. We're going to hear from Crunch about how you can join them next month. And in December, I am giving away a 1-year membership. And for those that are not in the drawing yet, it's this simple. A lot of new people on our show right now. All you have to do is type in, I want to be in the Crunch Fitness drawing, or I want in. You can do it that simple. And it is a 1-year membership, no strings attached. I've already got several people that are working out there already, and they have fallen in love with Crunch just as I have. I need to be able to get back there. I've been training in my basement because I've been so darn busy. Crunch Fitness, Florissant in our area, as well as in Baldwin, as well as St. Peter's. And I understand Fenton is to come, and many more. I think there's going to be like 10 to 12 that will open in our area before it's all said and done. If you have a Crunch in your area, let me know if you're working out there. So yeah, Crunch Fitness, thank you for being our national sponsor.
When you want to feel good, you work out at Crunch. You don't go here, because here feels bad. But here we help you feel good, feel strong, feel rejuvenated.
Join Crunch Fitness today.
And again, November and December, we will be giving away a 1-year membership. So it's that easy. I've got an ongoing list. If you didn't win, you stay in the drawing for the next month. So good luck to each and every one of you. Okay, we're going to do the devotional. But before we do so, I want to make sure that each and every one of you are heard. And if you write later, I'll be looking at that later in the day, and I'll make sure that I write back to you. So I met you at the Care STL Gala. Oh, okay. So I try to listen into your shows. Love your content and your kindness. Thank you, Jenny. I doubt you could ever offend anyone. Oh, I've done it. Look, I've evidently, by some of the things, and stay tuned because it'll be this afternoon, evidently it happened in my career field. I've been given some really enlightening information by someone that I don't know that told me some things. And I'm going to talk about those later this afternoon. And I don't care. That's the thing. I've gotten to a point in life of, I used to be a people pleaser, but if you don't like me, I know I'm a kind person. I know I was raised well, and I know that all I want is for kindness on this earth. And so if I've offended you, tell me why and let me make it better. Don't just sit in silence. That's the other thing. If someone has walked away from my life and has never told me why, that's, to me, a cop-out. It's childish, actually. Pete, I've learned more about Christianity by talking and being with people of different faiths. Amen. What a great comment, Pete. I love it. Let's see. Rose, I like this. Pete, yes, sitting outside, forest bathing. Oh, that we did that on the show, but it's been over a year now. I'd love to bring that back up, Pete. And box breathing is good. So, Pete, I love that you are into that. Must love Little Dogs LLC. Oh, I love that. I was there too. Monica is amazing. Well, I love it. Well, hello. I love having all these new people. Thank you, Dr. Monica. Do you know that I was going to go into medicine? Yes, I love this. Lika Barker, are you new to the show as well? I love this. And Lika, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I hate to butcher people's names. Leka or Lika? Okay, you did it. Reset. Gabriel said, I feel a bit more relaxed now. So he did it. Rose did the reset. Jessica did the reset. Jenny, I knew you had to be a yoga instructor. I'm actually not. I do incorporate it. I did like mat science, which is more Pilates based. I did take some yoga in some of my, I don't have a yoga certification though, but I incorporate it in my workouts. I know enough about it, but I will never say I'm a yoga instructor. But I do say yoga, and maybe now I have to say flow. Jenny, yes. Thanks much. Yes. Change, Pete says. I want in. Okay, Jenny, you got it. I will put you in the crunch drawing. I don't want to offend anyone, but I ask God to be at my side every day, every morning, right? Rose, we all have to be like, you do you. Nicole, I would love to be in the drawing, please. Yes, ma'am. I did do the breathing. I do feel a bit better. I know I'll be more relaxed after this roofing project is done and over with. Stuff slamming on the rooftop has me a bit on edge. So maybe you need to go treat yourself somewhere. Go get a nice smoothie, do a little relaxation, put your earbuds in, listen to some good music. That's what you need, Nicole. Okay, so Nicole, Jenny, you got it. You are in the drawing. Our next drawing comes in November. All right, well, let's wrap up. We haven't read from Jesus Calling. And again, if you don't want to hear this, this is when you sign off. And I don't offend you, okay? But I am going to bring God into play. Jesus is calling on my soul to help de-stress all of you. And I hope you've enjoyed today's show. We've got a show this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Mama Jackie will be with me. We will talk about some interesting, enlightening things that have happened in the field of the people I used to work with and how much has changed. In fact, I reached out to Don Marsh. Do you remember him? For those of you that have been around St. Louis media for a while, I said I would love, I'll ask you all this. Would you like a roundtable where you can come in person? And maybe we hold it where I have my studios at Adventure Unknown. It would be live with a live audience. So you'd be there in person with us. And if you couldn't, you would watch virtually. But I'd love to pack that room with some of the veterans, the true journalists. Don said, I'm in. I want to reach out to my friend Karen Foss. Not sure if she can come in town, but if not, we can have her join virtually. I want to reach out to Dan Gray, John Pertzborn, who just retired. I'd love to offer this up to my friend Randy Naughton. I'd love to reach out to Deanne Lane, Kay Quinn, Rennie Knott. I don't know if Rennie would join her now because he's in the hot seat at this very moment, but maybe he would. Who else would you like to see there? Weigh in for me, and I'll ask that again later this afternoon. Oh my goodness, here we go again. Thank you, I did it. We do it in the pool. Oh, I love that. You are relaxed. I love it. Okay. It must be a deer back again. See, the deer, they come back and they're like, shut up, kids. So it is October 22nd. I'm not going to put them out because after all, if you are just tuning in and you didn't see the National Day of Calendar, it's their day, National Make a Dog's Day. I am trying without saying dogs. Seriously, it's just a deer. What's the big problem? Okay, so Jesus is calling us to tell them to hush up. No matter what your circumstances may be, you can find joy through the barking. You can find joy in my presence. Adelaide, hey, stop it. On some days, joy is generously strewn along your life path, glistening in the sunlight. We've got a little bit of that already this morning. On days like that, being content. Oh, how funny. So this is so fitting of what we did today. Being content is as simple as breathing the next breath or taking the next step, right? So we just did our breathing together. Other days are overcast and gloomy. The rain's coming. You feel the strain of the journey, which seems endless. Dull, gray rocks. I know, Stephanie, right? They greet your gaze. They cause your feet to ache, yet joy is still attainable. Joy is attainable through all the noise. This is literally life, folks, playing out right here in front of me. They do need to do a nervous system reset, Gabriel. Search for it as for a hidden treasure. Look, see, I was trying to be nice to them by letting them in, and then they do this. Begin, folks, by remembering that I have created this day. It is not a chance occurrence. Recall that I am present with you, whether you sense my presence or not. God, I sense your presence, and you are definitely challenging me today. Start talking with me about whatever is on your mind. Rejoice in the fact that I understand you perfectly, and I know exactly what you're experiencing. Do you have dogs barking in heaven, God? I guess so. As you continue communicating with me, your mood will gradually lighten. Yes, I'm laughing too, Stephanie. Awareness of my marvelous companionship can infuse joy into the grayest, not the greatest, but into the grayest day. And eventually, he silences them. Oh, look, like right on cue. The real Monica Adams Show. You bet. I feel better after the show and any meditation practice, Jenny says. All right. For those of you that said you wanted to be in the crunch drawing, I'll make sure that I'm going to take care of that. We are going to wrap up the show for right now. And then I will be back with you for a little Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Not sure what I'm going to grab. If my mom would like to have some wine, I'm sure she would like to have something after what she's been through. But yeah, let's meet right here at 4:00 this afternoon, and let's get real and open up. I am going to be transparent. I am going to be an open book. So bring it at me. Ask any question that you've ever wanted to know about the behind the scenes of the news industry. That's coming up this afternoon. I'm going to go silence them, but calmly, because after all, it is make them happy today. No, we're not going to be at Defiance. Well, but thank you for dropping them in as a sponsor, Gabriel. Defiance Ridge. He is actually wrapping up his river cruise. He went to France. So we do Wet Your Whistle Wednesday every other Wednesday normally at Defiance Ridge Vineyard. So it would have been this afternoon, but instead it's me and Mama Jackie. We'll do it right here, and we'll probably go outside if it's nice enough. Wet Your Whistle Wednesday can, by the way, be from your business, because the alternate Wednesdays I do here but it could be with you. So if you're involved in any part of an industry that you think would be under the umbrella of Wet Your Whistle, reach out to me. I'd love for you to be a part of it. So Wet Your Whistle Wednesday will be back next Wednesday at Defiance Ridge, and Positive Talk Time will be back next Thursday from Yuppie Puppy Pet Spa and Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue, which, by the way, let me drop that in as I wrap up. For those of you that have not purchased your tickets yet, you have until this Thursday for the Yuppie Puppy Gala. We're going to be there auctioneering and emceeing and raising big money for the dogs. They are part of our world, right? Part of your world. The Yuppie Puppy Forever Gala, November 8th. Scan that QR code for tickets. The sponsorships are all spoken for, and we are proud that we are one of the sponsors because I love the work that they're doing. So if you have that open, we'd love to see you there. So a couple of events to be able to come and be a part of the Real Monica Adams team. The Yuppie Puppy Gala and Faith in the Fields. All right, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to go give them a big kiss and a hug and tell them to hush. Hey, you want a treat? That's how you get them to be quiet. All right, everybody. God bless you all. Remember, to humans and pets alike, the greatest thing we can be is kind. God bless you all.